Welcome to the Carbonqueries podcast, the interactive show where we answer your carbon fiber related questions, hosted by Ruckus Composites. You can submit a question using the hashtag Carbonqueries on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or email.
So we got a good follow-up question from Jeff on Facebook asking, he works in the aerospace industry, I think we can say that.
He does.
And he was talking, it was in follow-up to our comments about why manufacturers don't put aluminum threaded shells in bikes. And I said it's a higher risk of failure of dissimilar materials between the aluminum and the carbon. And he, he works in aerospace, and he's like, why don't they just put an insulator? And that is a great question. And the reason is, I don't know. It is, so when you have two different materials, you can definitely put electrical insulator. It's just fiberglass generally. So like when we put an alloy shell into a bike, we lathe it, get the correct diameters that we need, basically machine it down to the perfect diameter. We surface treat it, bonding to aluminum its own special beast because it creates an oxide layer nearly instantaneously. So you need to treat it specifically so that it actually bonds to it. Anybody else gluing to aluminum, short lifespan, there's another one. Aluminum is hard to glue to. There's that thin oxide layer that it's easy to shear. Basically, it's a very thin, shearable layer. Which sucks. It breaks. And then we wrap it in fiberglass and we cure it. So now we have an easy surface to bond to. It's insulated. And then we just glue it in the frame and it's perfectly fine. On the manufacturing side, I think yet again, to prep aluminum correctly is hard. There's a lot of pre-documented manuals about how to prep different metals for bonding with composites. As simple as titanium is one of the simplest ones to do. You just really have to clean it with acetone. Titanium is actually also hard to glue to, but that's for a different reason. But aluminum is incredibly hard to glue to, and it's used so much because aluminum is dirt cheap. It's easy to machine, right? Nothing's cheaper than aluminum. I mean, a lot of things are, but when it comes to easy machining, aluminum, dropouts, pivot points, whatever, it holds its tolerances. But, when aluminum is exposed to air, like it creates that aluminum oxide layer. And you basically need to prevent that oxide layer from forming in the first place. So the aluminum, technically, after you machine it, cannot be exposed to air if you wanted to bond it correctly. So typically, before you bond to aluminum, you need to do an acid etching in a certain way that prevents that oxide, retards that oxide layer from being created quickly. And then you can glue to it right away. We have our own tricks of how we actually do that because we don't like those acids because they're nasty. Mm-hmm. So I learned a bunch of tricks from some aerospace guys and boat guys on how to treat aluminum in an environmentally friendly way to get the same bond strength. Because yet again, if our bond's broke, our repair breaks, and our business fails, right? To make that short. So we take that stuff seriously. And if you don't, the aluminum corrodes. And that's called galvanic corrosion.
And maybe we'll cover that in another Carbonqueries episode.
Yeah, that one needs to get covered a lot. It's still a problem. We just had a brand new Amanda 700 come in, and I'm already like,
less than a year old.
Less than a year old, and the cable stops are they disintegrating fast.
I'm going to keep saying Zwift miles.
Who even know? Probably.
It's got to be.
Yeah, especially this time.
Riding trainers indoors.
Oh my God.
Not inadequate.
They're already
sweat capture method. Not enough fans.
Oh.
Well, I guess you have a lot of fans on Zwift.
Oh my God, Dan. What if we created Zwift fans?
Like real? Now I'm confused on the fan. Like the actual fan or the hype fan?
Isn't the English language great?
Sometimes. Not to learn.
Well, just kidding. Zwift fans. You can cheer on somebody through VR. Just to make it more absurd. I'm not a Zwifter. I'm not a trainer guy. That's fine if you are. Good for you.
All right. We'll see everybody next week.
Thanks for tuning in to the Carbonqueries. If you have a pressing carbon fiber related question, you can submit it to us using the hashtag Carbonqueries on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or email.
We've thoroughly enjoyed putting together this podcast for everybody so far, and have gotten some great feedback. So if you have anything to say, comments, suggestions, please go onto iTunes, give us 5 stars, or just an honest rating, that works as well. Other than that, please like, comment, and share Facebook, Instagram, Google Play, wherever you get your podcasts. It would really help us out a bunch. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you all next week.